what's going on? It is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Kurtzman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And what we're talking about today is the virtual economy. And that's something that's been emerging over the years. The virtual economy has been emerging over the years, and now all of a sudden, it's been forced upon us. And this will have lasting change into the way business is done around the world. And we've talked about this last week, but what we're talking about today is how to adapt your business, at least temporarily, if not for the long term. Again, because some of these changes will be more permanent, of where an expectation of, virtual tours or being able to do things electronically or just really making this process more efficient. That's happening right now. It's been lagging behind for years, and this has kind of forced that eruption of all this rapid change. So we're going to be talking about today how to set up your business for success in this new virtual economy. Different ways to market your business. I mean, you probably have already started noticing ads are different now. Ads are directly referencing this whole situation that we're in. I mean, you've probably seen all kinds of ads about, if you're at home, blah, 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 this, or we could still provide this at home. And on top of that, despite the stock market and that being turned upside down, I mean, recently, just this week, you started seeing all kinds of articles of all these companies that have been able to adapt to this new economy, to how they're having to hire hundreds of thousands of people. So there's hundreds of thousands of jobs being created right now. So yes, there were a lot of jobs being lost, and there's a lot of stuff. The dust hasn't settled yet on all this, but there's changes happening. You could already see the companies that have been able to quickly pivot and adapt their business to be able to provide services. And depending on the type of business it may be, some businesses are more capable of doing this than others. But for your real estate business, people still need real estate. Now, they might be wary of what's going on in the market or with interest rates or all kinds of things like that. So that's where they need you. They need you. And you might not have all the answers. I'm not saying you need to have all the answers, but you've at least got to be able to communicate some of this information in a way that is educated from the real estate perspective. Because they're just taking in data from either what they think they know, or what their friends think they know, or even what the news thinks they know, because even that is, always not 100% accurate. So, and even if it were accurate, it might not apply specifically to that particular property in that person's particular neighborhood. So that's where our local expertise comes in, and that's one of the most valuable factors of a good real estate agent is local expertise. And including in times of uncertainty like this, people are looking for certainty. So any certainty it is you could provide, even if it's just in the sense of what's going on with their property, the property value, or maybe now is a good time to refinance. Maybe they had higher interest rates before and they want to refinance now to lower their payment, or any way it is that you could provide value. And ideally, we get paid every time we provide value to our clients, but we don't live in an ideal world. We only end up getting paid when we end up closing in a transaction, typically, where we get a commission for helping them buy or sell a property. So you've got to take a step back and not think about how do I buy and sell a property right now, but how do I best serve my clients? And then the clients that need to buy and sell properties are going to need advice. Now, other things to take in mind as well. Again, official numbers aren't out on any of this stuff, but there have been people that have lost their jobs. And you may see, and this is in any market, this happens in any market, there's always foreclosures and short sales, but as unemployment rises, you start to see that more. And if you don't know how to work with a foreclosure or a short sale, that's definitely something I would recommend that you start to understand and you start to learn and you start to get good at, so you have that tool in your belt. Hopefully you don't have to use it, but it gives you another tool where you could open up a different line of business if, normal home buying starts to slow down. I don't think it will with all this here, but it has been contained. Things have been contained. We're in a policy, we're in a government of containment right now. So not only is it containing people, but it is containing businesses. It's containing the economy, but there are still ways that you could push your business forward. Maybe not as drastically as you could normally, but still efforts you could take. And again, you've got to take a step back and not think about, okay, well, how am I going to make money off of this here? You're going to make money eventually. You're going to get a closing from these people eventually, whether they need to buy, whether they need to sell. That's going to happen eventually, but it won't happen if you don't have a relationship. So that's one of the most important things in this virtual economy is maintaining the relationships, keeping what used to require physical contact, or not required physical contact, but was solidified by physical contact. We might not have any physical contact with new clients. Say you get a new client that calls you up, it says, hey, I've been looking at a couple virtual tours online, I'm interested in getting some more details on the property, and maybe when there is one that they're really interested in, maybe then they're scheduling a showing. But there's definitely less showings right now because people are concerned about being out there in public. Sellers might be concerned about people coming into their homes that might be infected with coronavirus or anything like that. So showings, they're definitely kind of on hold right now, but that's why we did that webinar last Wednesday. We gave you guys that webinar. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's on our Facebook, it's on our YouTube, and it's all about virtual tours. We brought in a company here to explain that and showcase that for you so that way you can kind of see this platform that exists called virtual touring that will still showcase your property to all the people sitting at home. But now think of all the different ways it is that you can virtualize your business. So, of course, for the showings, that's where you've got virtual tours. And when I say virtual tours, because I noticed the other day, a couple brokerages in our market here, I saw some ads that it was a slideshow of pictures with music set to it, which, I don't know, maybe that's better than pictures, but that's not a virtual tour. It's just pictures playing through, which maybe, again, that works a little bit better than the pictures, but it's not the same look and feel of, again, being there, kind of what that virtual tour does. So, yes, that does cost extra money, and yes, that usually requires you to pay for that virtual tour, or at least get your seller to pay for that virtual tour. Somebody's got to pay for this virtual tour. And if you're paying for that, well, then you're going out on a limb to take a chance to get this property sold, and that's why we get paid so much money on the back end when we end up getting the property sold. But again, that's the thing you've got to keep in mind here. What can I do to serve my clients in the best way possible? What do I have to do differently now that I didn't have to do before? You might have already been doing this, but electronic documents and signatures, whether you're using like Dotloop or DocuSign or what's the other one, Transaction Desk or Instinet or any of these different, there's tons of these platforms that are out there for electronic signatures, and electronic signatures is probably the most digital thing that's been adopted by real estate agents. And the reason why it was adopted before there was a crisis is because it saves you a significant amount of time. Time and having to run around and chase people down for signatures. Time and having to make sure that you've got all your records stored appropriately. Time to make sure that every little detail on that form is filled out. And all of a sudden with these electronic document and signature systems, it makes that a lot easier. So if you haven't been using these already, well, welcome to the new virtual economy. You're a little late to the party, but the good news is these are not that difficult. You could still learn these. You could still figure out how to use these and implement them in your business to grow and expand your business, even when you can't have physical contact with people. Now, the other thing might be open houses. So now open houses, that's again another thing that is kind of on hold. Maybe there's still open houses, but again, it's just kind of in that same boat as the showings, that if there are people going, it's not as many as normal. Again, not because they're not interested in housing, but because they're afraid to be out in public. So that's the big thing that's slowing things down right now. But let's say, again, you're trying to hold an open house. You're like, all right, I know open houses work. But again, if people aren't coming to your open houses, then that's a waste of time. That's any case. If any time, any market, if you hold an open house and no one shows up, well, why did you hold the open house? You didn't meet any new clients. So again, you got to remember that objective that we have for an open house, that we want to showcase the property. Yes, we want to showcase the property. That's primarily our objective, but that's not our end goal. Our end goal isn't to get the property sold, it's just to showcase the property. Because less than 1% of the time, a house sells as a result of an open house. But although I bet that statistic, if you're able to effectively pull off maybe a virtual open house, you're more likely to get that property under contract than normal right now because of these extenuating circumstances that we're in. So with an open house, a few ways you can go about doing this. Maybe some sort of live stream. I mean, you guys all have this technology to live stream with your Facebook, with Instagram, with YouTube. Basically, every place that has video allows you to live stream, which, remember the point of this is to get buyer leads. So you might have to, maybe create some sort of paid ad or something like that to make sure your live stream gets in front of people, because people are on social media right now. Why are people on social media right now? Well, people are on social media right now because they want to know what's going on in the world. They want to know how their friends are affected by this. They want to see what changes are happening, what's different, what's still working, what isn't working. They're going on social media to look for answers to these questions. And maybe they were looking at real estate and that kind of went on the back burner, but then they see an ad from you about an open house video that you have, whether that's a live stream or maybe it's just a pre-recorded video. Again, you maybe linked that to the virtual tour. Again, if you're not using virtual tours, that is something I highly recommend right now. But every way possible it is that you have to, again, get exposure to that property. This could also be, there's the mail is still running right now. The mail is still running. If you're sitting around doing nothing right now, if you don't have any business right now, maybe you send out a mailer. You could invest some of your sweat equity to reduce the cost of that mailer. You can just go buy yourself a box of envelopes, a ream of paper, put together some flyer, fold it all up, stuff it, seal it, stamp it, put it in the mail. Get it out there. It'll make its way to people eventually. Maybe a little bit slower right now than it normally does, but that's something you could do to take action to grow your real estate business. Maybe you send out a letter that says something uncertain about the future of your property's value. Call me today for a no obligation consultation about, and again, you've got to work with the wording on this here, depending on who that market is, depending on what you've tested and your branding and everything like that of what's going to generate calls, and you can maybe test out some of this stuff. So mail is a way to still communicate. Again, this is all about ways. I was looking at one of these essential services breakdown of what type of categories, what type of jobs fit into an essential service, and one of the main categories of essential services is communication infrastructure. And that's extremely important right now, and that's why that's deemed as an essential service, communication infrastructure, because people need to be able to communicate. People need to be able to communicate. People need to be able to still stay in touch with each other, and communication infrastructure is immensely more important now because we no longer have that face-to-face or a more limited version of face-to-face communication. So we have to rely on these technologies and tools to stay in the loop, to stay in communication with our clients, with our maybe you have a real estate team, or maybe your broker has been sending out little updates or something like that. You got email you could use, but email that doesn't replace nothing replaces a face-to-face meeting, but at least having again a video or a live stream or virtual tour, or the thing of when somebody's there in person, they get to interact. They could see, they could hear, they could smell. I don't have an answer for you guys yet on the smell thing. So we don't yet have the technology to get smells into people's homes or in their phone or anything like that, so they won't be able to smell the house. If they want to smell it, they still got to go there in person to give it a sniff. But if they want to see it, if they want to hear it, if they want to experience it, through virtually or anything like that, that's all possible, and you need to make sure that people know that. It's your job, your duty of your business right now to make sure you're disseminating information that you are still able to serve your clients. Again, in a more limited capacity compared to our traditional way of serving our clients, but we could still provide our valuable services. What else are you doing right now? What else are you doing to grow your business? Don't take this as a vacation. Look, for those of you guys treating this like this is a vacation, that's where you've got big problems. This is not a vacation. There's a lot of changes going on right now, and you've got time to take advantage of being early to adapt to these changes. Because again, there's a lot of things. Yes, things will eventually get back to normal, but there will be a new normal. Because this type of stuff is going to become more commonplace because, again, depending on how long this goes on for, this was forced. This was if you wanted to continue to be able to do real estate business, how you're having to do real estate business right now through as many virtual tours as possible. Or virtual options, not even just virtual tours, virtual options, any way it is you have to communicate. Again, a way to get in front of people is social media. People are on social media right now. If you haven't been doing anything on social media, well, maybe now is a good time to start learning about that. Maybe all the clients it is that you have right now, maybe none of them are looking to actively buy or sell. Hey, look, that's okay. Completely understandable. It's very uncertain right now. I'm with you on that one. There's a lot of unknowns out there. And again, you could reassure them with the information it is that you have. You might, again, not know all the answers, but you could still be confident about the information it is that you do have to, again, ensure that they stay in communication with you. And social media is a great way to do that. I mean, I'm sure you've maybe seen a lot of people get on social media and post videos or articles or whatever, or post about what's going on and updates on things, because people want that information. People are looking for answers right now, and if you have answers to provide, people will look to you for advice. And again, this is a way that you can grab this attention now. This is like, hey, this is how you're able to showcase your knowledgeability of market conditions, that you understand market conditions, that you understand the difference between a buyer's and seller's market, and you understand that there's no such thing as a good market or a bad market. It really just depends on whether you're a buyer or a seller and what's the market better for. Is it better for a buyer right now or better for a seller right now? And that doesn't just apply nationwide, that applies in the neighborhood that you're looking at here. So it goes all the way to that super granular scale, and that's again why this local expertise is so important. So showcasing your expertise, you can do that through social media, whether it is you're posting a video or you're making a post or you're doing a live stream, you're maybe doing a Q&A session, or maybe you're just working on building your following. Maybe you're new to social media. Look, if you've got time right now, which I bet you do, if you've got some sort of time, if you don't have time, that's fantastic. You must be doing well. Keep doing what you're doing, I guess. But if you do have time, then maybe figure this out a little bit. Maybe figure out how you could start building a following on social media. Figure out how you could expand your business. If you don't know how to expand your business, start training and learning to how you could expand your business so you could take control of your business to where it's not affected by external circumstances, to where your brokerage continues to operate, whether your office is open or closed or whatever is going on in the world, that you have the means and ability to serve your clients. And especially when you're able to do things virtually like this, think of again a normal world again. Think of a normal world where, maybe you're wanting to take a vacation. That's one of the big gripes a lot of realtors have is, if I go on vacation, I'm walking away from my business. Yeah, if this is like 1990, this is like 1999, 2000, maybe the early 2000s, yeah, you walk away from your business, or you take a vacation, you're basically walking away from your business. But now in 2020, we have the tools to keep our business running from wherever it is that we are. And if that hasn't been made apparent yet, open your eyes and look around, because businesses have been able to figure out how to continue to move on. And not all businesses are capable of being able to adapt. Not all business owners know how to adapt their business or are not prepared to adapt their business. So again, if you want to take control of your future, be intentional about this. Implement these different services and technologies and tools that are out there and available to help you expand your business regardless of what it is. And then again, when things get back to normal, if you want to take a vacation, you've got this whole system set up to where people could still see your property virtually. They could still go through another agent to tour the property, but they could go through you as well if they just want to virtually see the property. And it turns out that they do want an appointment and you're still out of town, well, then you could find somebody and then just cut them in with a referral fee or something like that. The electronic signature, I don't know if I need to sit up here and tell you guys you should be using electronic signatures, because trust me, it'll make your life a lot easier. A little bit difficult to figure out at first when you first start using electronic signatures, and same thing for your clients if they've never signed an electronic signature before, a little bit of a process, but look, they've made this so easy that, yes, again, it's still a little bit different than just taking out a paper and writing on it. But this has been here. This isn't going anywhere. This is only going to become more prominent, if not the norm, if it's not already the norm. The open houses, again, these are a great way to generate leads. It's a great way to gain exposure for your property. So those are the two things it is that you're trying to do: gain exposure for the property and generate leads. But you don't necessarily have to do a physical, real open house to be able to get exposure for your property and generate leads. If you think of those two goals you're trying to achieve, to showcase the property and generate leads, well, there's a lot of things you can do to showcase the property and generate leads. You've just got to do more of those other things now if you're not able to hold open houses. So you've got to do more, whether that's, maybe you're doing a mailer. Hey, this property was just listed. Maybe you have one that just sold, that just closed. just sold, or maybe one that went under contract, sending out little things like that just to let people know, hey, real estate's still going, we're still in business, we're not going anywhere, we're still here to serve you. Questions about your property, give us a call. Social media, again, you can do this organically, or if you really want to put some fuel on the fire, you could do paid advertising through social media. And that can be extremely powerful, especially when there's people on social media. Because the more people there are on social media, the more advertisements Facebook has to sell. And so Facebook system and pricing model is extremely complicated, but ultimately I would say you could probably get cheaper ads right now, depending on your market. It depends on your targeting and all the other factors in there, but you could probably get cheaper ads for a few reasons. Number one, there's a lot of advertisers that have pulled back. And that reducing of demand drops the price. But if you think at the same time, there's a higher supply. There's more people on social media right now, again, looking for those answers. So there's higher supply, or higher demand with less supply of ads. I think I did those backwards there. So there's a higher demand for social media, a higher demand for ads created by proxy, and lower supply of ads for advertisers that cut back. Well, what that does is that drops the price of advertising, because Facebook's going to incentivize people to advertise on their platform when others go away. That's the way this whole auction model works for, again, even in normal circumstances. This is how it works in the everyday case of how they determine the price for ads on pretty much all digital ad platforms. So again, before you spend money on ads, just make sure that you've done a little research and you've maybe taken some trainings. And again, you could start small with something like this to kind of test out the waters. Now, when you're starting small, don't expect immense results. But I would start trying to use this as a channel. I would right now be using all the channels that you have to communicate with people virtually, and try to do that as much as possible. That should be your job right now, is getting in communication with people. And especially if you've been the person that's been more about face-to-face meetings, well, I would work extra hard right now to make sure that you're adopting this new virtual model. And look, if you don't like it, you don't have to stick with this. When things get back to normal, you won't have to use this as much, but you should know how to use it, because this will all be more prevalent. All of these virtual options will be more prevalent after this is all over. Again, even when things get back to normal, this is all going to be more prevalent. And you've got to always be trying to increase and expand your business. Because when you're constantly increasing and expand your business, if there ever is changes in the market, and there always will be changes in the market, it's just a matter of how significant these changes are and when they happen. That's really the questions, not if the changes are going to happen, not if there's going to be price corrections and ups and downs in markets. They always are, but it's how do you know which way the market's going, and how do you adapt your business to be able to be better than it was before in a new market. And if you, again, take advantage of these tools that are out there and available, you will expand your business. It might seem like you're not expanding now because you're just trying to catch up and keep up and figure this all out and adapt. But if you get the hang of this, you start implementing this, again, even when things get back to normal, this is going to be much more prevalent. And this stuff, again, you might be intimidated by some of this stuff here. It can definitely be. If you've never stepped in front of a camera and talked to an audience on a camera before, that's intimidating as well. But look, just practice. Go turn on your camera at home, or just really go look in the mirror at home and practice talking in the mirror. Then maybe start doing it on your phone. And before you even release that anywhere, you can just start talking and just start doing it. But get it out there. Get some information out there to people. Disseminate your expert information that you have, so that way, again, you could create value and not only solidify the relationship you have currently, but improve the new relationships, as also gain new relationships. That's all possible through the marketing measures it is that you have right now. And you might be wondering, should I scale back my marketing right now? Well, you know your business better than I would, but what I would say is, again, keeping in mind that supply and demand about advertising, and it might be different in your market depending what's going on in your targeting. So again, you've got to look at the numbers yourself here and make a determination. But if you take a seat back, like I said, if you treat this like it's a vacation and you decide to kick your feet up and say, all right, well, I'm just going to isolate for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks until everything's over with, and then I'll go back to practicing real estate. Maybe you're in a position to do that, and that's fantastic if you're in a position to do that, but you should start thinking about what's going on out there for agents that are still practicing real estate right now, because this is how they're doing it. And this, again, is going to become a lot more prevalent going forward. But again, it's not about whether this is a good change or a bad change. It's a change. Don't worry about categorizing it as good or bad. It's a change that you have to adapt with. Whether it's a good change or a bad change, all changes you need to change with the change. And if you're not changing with the change, well, then you're going to get left behind. So don't get left behind in all this here. Make sure you stay. Right now, more than ever, it's important to seek out information and to look for guidance of how to be able to, again, whether it's implementing these things or, maybe if you run a real estate team, maybe you're used to dealing with these people face to face, having them in your office and meeting with them. Well, now all of a sudden, that all has to be done virtually. Now, since there's a lot of independent contracting in real estate, we're already set up pretty well for not having to be in our office. But if you had a requirement to be in an office, you're realizing right now, well, that's not a great requirement to have. Maybe I should figure out how to change my business model to where I don't need to be in that office, how I could be able to do what I do from anywhere in the world. Because not only will that help you immensely right now, but it'll help you for the rest of your real estate career as well. So look, if you guys have questions about anything, if you need to take some courses or you're studying for your exam, or if you've got your real estate license and you're trying to figure out how to plan your business, if you haven't taken post-licensing yet, you need to check that out, postflorida.com. You can find more details about our post-licensing courses, both classroom and online. But other than that, that's all the time we've got for you guys today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button so we know that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy it, so that way we make more content similar to this. This is how we gauge what you guys like and enjoy, is by how many likes we get on there. So if you like this show, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to get reminders whenever it is we go live, just hit that little bell icon. And then every time we post a video or post a live stream, you'll get a notification. So that way you don't miss out on any of this information. Again, we're here for you, 813-333-2676. You can check us out online at tampaschool.com. But other than that, that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success. Or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.